Hi and welcome to another Sunday Jam from home. We're going to make today a couple of puppets. So I've got one bigger one, and this is my whale, and one smaller one, little chap, and this is going to be Jonah. So let's make some puppets together. To start with, you need an A4 piece of paper, and can you see I've already creased 2 lines in so that we can fold it up to make a long thin bit. Okay, so folding it into 3 to make a long thin bit. Okay, so 1, 2, like that. We're then going to fold it in half. You need the open bit on the bottom to fold it in half like that. Okay, and then we're going to fold the halves back on themselves like a concertina. So that's 1, and the other half underneath 2, and that's already your basic puppet for your whale. And you see the ends, you can slip your thumb in the bottom and your fingers in the top. You can open and close it. What you're going to want to do now is decorate this whale. So first thing I did was I did the inside of his mouth. So I did lines around the edge for the whale's filters, and I did a tongue and the inside of his mouth. Okay, and then I decorated the outside. I did pale blue on the bottom, a darker blue on the top, and I also cut out a whale's tail. So the bits to cut out look a bit like that. So that's the tail and the eyes. So you want to cut those out to stick on. You've got to make sure with the tail you stick it on in the right place, otherwise it's going to get in the way of where you want to put your hand. I'm not going to colour all this in now, otherwise we'll be there for quite a while if you're just watching me colouring. But you can do the colouring at home. So you take your whale's tail and you're going to put some glue on the bottom. If you haven't got glue, you could use some sticky tape for this. Okay, and you're going to get your whale, and in the bit where you put your fingers, you need to stick it at the top so you can still get your fingers in underneath the tail. Okay, you can curve it a little bit. You might find when you colour it in it curves anyway. Okay, and then we've got our 2 eyes. To stick on 1, round we go, 2. So you probably want to colour it in first before you stick on your eyes. 1 and 2. There we go. That's your basic whale. Open and close his mouth. Okay, so with another piece of paper we're going to make Jonah, and he is just a small rectangle of paper that, again, like the whale, we fold into 3 bits, but this time we just fold a little flap over the top so you can put your finger in. You could do all sorts of puppets like this, and I've done Jonah. So there we go. So this is Jonah and our whale. So we're going to do our story. Do you know, in the Bible, there's a book in the Bible called Jonah, and it's only that long. Those words, that's the whole of the book of Jonah. So you could find it in the Bible, and you could read it, and you could have read a whole book of the Bible. So let's start with Jonah. Jonah was told by God that he wanted him to go to a city called Nineveh. God wanted Jonah to go and tell the Ninevites that he wanted them to change. But Jonah did not want to go. So he tried to run away from God. He got on to a ship. This is one we made the other day. So let's put Jonah on the ship. And the ship sailed away and Jonah fell asleep. But a storm came and the boat tipped and it rocked and the waves were huge and all the sailors were so scared they started to throw things overboard and pray to all their gods, but nothing helped. In the end they went and they shook Jonah and they said, wake up, something's wrong, pray to your God. So Jonah woke up and he knew what was wrong. He knew that the storm was because he hadn't done what God wanted him to do. So he said to the sailors, throw me overboard and the storm will stop and you'll be safe. The sailors weren't sure at all, but in the end there was nothing else they could do. So they threw Jonah overboard and Jonah sank into the sea. But God didn't leave him there. God sent a big fish or a whale along that swallowed Jonah up. Like that. While Jonah was inside the whale, 3 days and 3 nights, he prayed to God to save him. And he promised that he would do what God had asked. So after 3 days and 3 nights, the whale went and spat Jonah out onto a beach. And guess where that beach was? That beach was just by the city of Nineveh, just where God had wanted Jonah to go all the time. So along he went and he told the Ninevites God's message, and they decided that they would change so that they could follow God properly. And that's the story of Jonah and the whale. I hope you have fun making some puppets. I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.